Here I am for another one. Arcadia State Park in Rhode Island in Exeter. And right now I'm parked near the Wood River, which runs through this area. Here it is right here. I'm a little ways down the river following this trail over here. And there's the river. I haven't come to any spots yet that the rocks are big enough to try flint knapping, but see, yeah, you can see that those are just all little ones. I just thought I'd take the opportunity to show you. In one of my other videos I mentioned mountain laurels and how they looked a lot like the blueberry bushes. This right here, this is the blueberry bush. See, the bark looks almost exactly like mountain laurels. One major difference is that mountain laurels are evergreen. They hold their leaves all year long. These, as you can see, the blueberry bushes lose all their leaves. On top of that, the other telltale is like right here. This. See how red the new shoot is? Usually the top new shoots, not always, but in most cases, they look like that. And then there's other ones like this blueberry bush over here that it's the same, but it's a lot less defined. Like you can see just the very tips are pretty red, but the rest of it doesn't look that way. But they do, they're all scraggly and windy like mountain laurels, but again, they don't hold their leaves in the winter. Good thing to look for, though. Unfortunately, I'm as far as I can go over here. The river's got another branch that comes into it right there. And I'm on this little peninsula in between the two branches. If this were summer or even late spring, this water would be a lot lower, but all the winter melt runoff rose it up. I could usually just go through with these waterproof boots and walk through it, but that's not happening today. Too bad. I'll have to follow. I'm going to follow the other branch, the one that way, and see where that takes me. I'm sure it's going to go back out to the road I parked at, but at a different area. So if I could follow it up, maybe I can find another spot on the other side of the road. I could follow it upstream instead of down. Now, just for reference, this is a mountain laurel. You can see the bark looks almost identical to a blueberry bush. But again, these are evergreens. They don't have the red tops. They're more of like a yellowish tan color to them. This one here, you can see it's been chewed on by a deer. All the new shoots here, they're all chewed off. That down there. This is the only one that got left behind, but so that's the difference between the two. And either one is good if you find dead ones for making firewood, kindling. You can cut them up and they stay dry pretty good if they're off the ground. Here's another item that I just got for doing this kind of stuff on eBay. Two parts. This part right here, it actually clamps onto my camera, which is an iPhone. That was from an eBay seller. I think it was JP Slots was the name of the eBay seller. This is a tripod right here. Sima, S-I-M-A, is the brand of it, and it's telescopic. It gets twice as tall as this, but it's nice and compact. As you can see, I mean, it's fitting in the palm of my hand right here. Well, this is what I'm going to use to hold the camera steady while I show you something else over here. Now, this right here, this is a great find. I just noticed it in passing. It's a dead birch, but the bark is usually the last thing to biodegrade on it, and if you can get it out in any kind of pieces, you can make shingles out of them. That's if you're obviously really roughing it, but even as just fire starter, you can save that, put that in your pack, hang on to it. And this is the first birch I've seen around here. It's dead, obviously, but I'm surprised there's not more of them. Actually, I think there might be one that fell down there, but yeah, this is a good find for someone who's looking to make stuff off the land. Okay, this is actually a much better example right here. Another fallen down birch tree. You can see it's completely dead in there, but this is just the thing, since it's all still intact, that you can take a knife, run down it, and you can see it just starts to unroll from the centerpiece here. Okay. Look at that. See? It's actually just all coming off because the inside is so rotted. Like I said, the middle is the first part to go, so if you're careful, you work your way around right, you can get this whole thing to unroll in one big sheet, and makes good rainproofing. Check this one out. This is really cool. It's animal went to work here. You can see a beaver chewed a huge chunk out of the side of this tree. Look at that. When you can see all the teeth grooves from its teeth. That's amazing how much. I mean, it's just an animal with a little head, and it can chew right through this tree like it's nothing. Can't believe there's even beaver around here. I mean, I know they dam up rivers, but this just didn't look like the spot to see them. Here's another one I just stumbled across. It's late winter, early spring right now, and well, spring's not here yet, but it's coming. I found something that I know is an edible plant, but I'm not sure what part or how you prepare it to make it edible. It's right here. It's the early stages of skunk cabbage. Usually grows in really damp areas like this. It looks more like lettuce when it gets bigger, big lettuce leaves on it. But this is how it looks when it first comes out in the end of the winter. And when I read up on exactly what part of it is edible, I will let you know. I actually tried, I found some stuff. It's not ideal, but for doing some flint knapping. The best thing to use to make the fractures is a piece of quartz, something like that, because it's really hard. And you need a bearing block, anything, maybe granite, anything that's pretty strong. It doesn't matter, but the size is the most important thing. See, like this one I found here. And the rock that you're going to try and knap into the right shape. I found this. I'm not sure what it is, but when I was hitting it, it almost smelled like flint, but I don't think we have flint around here. And I was able to fracture it into a few pieces like this to get some sharp edges. This right here, that's a good cutting edge. And the leftover shavings would even make decent little arrowheads. You can see how thin and sharp they are. This one came out a little better actually, but I'll show you exactly how I was doing it. Okay, here it is. It's just another leftover piece from what I had. I don't know if you can see this, but if you can just get it to break along some of the fracture lines, and then from there try and get it to split. That was actually a really good split. I got it to split lengthwise down there, and from there. Even now, like with this piece, I almost don't even want to use this big rock on it. If you get something a little bit smaller, where you can get it in the right corner, but you can just flake off little corners of it, get it to the right shape. The tough part is getting just the right far point on the rock you're hitting with. Let's see if I can. Oh, that made a pretty good one. Oh yeah, see? Look at the cutting edge on that. Right there. Now I'll show you another thing. Now that I've made this cutting edge, what I can do with it. Right behind me here, it's just a piece of oak. And now you can take the sharp edge of that, just go around the oak. Oak's a kind of hard wood, but as you can see, this is actually going through it pretty nicely. Get that out of the way. Now what I'm doing with this, I mean, you can use it for arrows or anything else like that if you needed to, but if you want to make a hand drill set, spindle, if you don't have any way to make fire, like the flint magnesium sticks, that kind of stuff, or ferrocerium rods, this is a way to totally primitively get fire when you have no alternative. I mean, obviously you don't want to do it this way, but so you can, I went all the way around that like a beaver, like back there. I got one part of it. If I did the same thing right here, I'd have the spindle, use your shoelace as a string for the bow, get another piece for a bow, make your hearth, and then just spin this back and forth on it, and in the groove that you cut in. And this can actually be used to make the cuts in the hearth also, which is the bottom piece of a fire bow set that this spindle would lock into, so that you can make the ash collect in one spot. But this is a good thing to use for that too. I was surprised I found this right kind of rock too, because this is actually holding an edge pretty good. I cut around that real well, and it's still pretty sharp. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. You just have to hit it at just the right angles, like that. Yeah. Here's another nice area I just found. I ended up coming back out to the road at a different bridge crossing, and went the opposite side of the road, so I'm no longer following the river anymore. I'm actually going to be heading out of here pretty soon, but this is the path I came down. I found this one spot not too far in that's got reindeer moss, which is edible. Again, you should boil it, so get some of the bitterness out of it. And it's all over there on the ground down here. You can see it over here. And right next to it is another one of my favorites for that. These low pine branches here that you can make tea out of. So that's something else. A lot of these big pines like that type, they don't have any lower branches on them, but I was able to find a few right here. Let's see that the branches are right down here where I can get to them. So I'm gonna take some of this off too, and make some tea out of it later. You can see a horse had come down this trail at some time in the past, not very recently, but yeah, I mean, it's just all grass, compacted grass. This makes a great fire bundle if you have to take fire with you somewhere. And there's a good amount of it down here, all dried out. Some of it's still damp because it was raining yesterday. But once you take it, and if you get a fire going, get it dried out on the side of that, that's perfect. And then you can put in some kind of container, either make one or have one that you brought with you, and you can use that to get it where you need to go to the next stop. I'm actually on my way back out again.